Hello everybody and welcome to another RentalTrax how-to video. This time we are focusing on your factor group. So one major advantage to the RentalTrax system is that we can really work with your numbers to create the discounts, the deals, and the timelines for your rentals using what we call our factor group. So for instance, you're going to have your products, they're going to have a base cost. So if you have product X that costs $10, what happens when somebody rents that for a prolonged period of time? Do they just take that $10 and multiply it by each day? Or do you give them a deal based on how long they rent it out for? How do you set up your groupings? Do you do a 7-day rental as a certain price, a 4-week rental is another price, or is it just strictly daily? That is all information that is based on your business model, and we allow you to set that up. In order to do that, you've got to set up your factor groups. We're going to do that now, and we're going to show you how to attach that to the product itself, as well as set up the factor master, we call it. So this is going to take a little bit of time, and it's going to be up to you how you set it up for your business. In order to get there, we're going to go to products. We're going to go down to factor groups, and for now we're going to go to list factor groups just so we can see what's in here. You're going to start with a standard rental inside of your factor groups, and this is because some people will only work off of one factor pricing group. However, if you've got multiple different products that are part of different groupings for pricing, you can set up multiple different factor groups and assign that directly to that product itself. So for now, if I click on standard rental, I can see how the pricing is set up for any products associated with a standard rental. We use the check boxes to denote which factor pricing timelines are going to be active. So in this case, a single day rental is going to be multiplied by a price of 1, by a factor of 1. A 7-day rental is going to be multiplied by a factor of 2. You can come in here and set them up. If you want to set up any 3-day rentals, you can set up whatever factor group you want. And remember, whatever's in this text field is going to be your multiplier. So if I put it in as 1.25, then it's going to set any 3-day rentals. It's going to multiply the base price by 1.25. Same thing on a 7-day rental here. We'll multiply it by 2. So for instance, if the product has a base price of $10 and they rent it for 7 days, their price for that timeline is going to be $20 because it's got a factor or a multiplier of 2. And you can set up as many prices as you want and activate whichever factor timeline you'd like to do and set your multipliers. And we'll click save on that. If you'd like to set up your factor master, which is kind of the master home for your factor groups, which is what's going to multiply every single one, all of them by, and be kind of your core for your factor group, you can come into here and this is going to set the basis. So if I come into here and change all of these numbers, say my 30-day factor down at the bottom, if I want to set that to be at 25, then I can save that, and that will mean that when I create new factors in the system, I can go to factor groups, I can go to new factor group, and I can call it whatever I like. We'll call this our test factor. Then when I go down to 30, it pulls from my factor master and sets a list of 25, my 25 multiplier for my factor for 30 days. So these numbers in these text fields are derived from your factor master. So you can set that first to save you a lot of time and then slightly manipulate it so that it makes sense for your products. Then when you go in and you're creating your products, you're going to be able to assign the factor group that you like to each product. So this Chiavari chair, I can set my standard rental as my factor group, or I can have no factor group associated with it as well. And you'll learn more about this as we create products. But for now, you really need to focus on creating your factor groups. Once again, going to products, down to factor groups, set your factor master first so that you know exactly, so you're setting your timelines as a basis so that you don't have to constantly go in there and change every single area. Set your factor master first and then create your specific factor groups after that. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at 888-925-6236. That's 888-925-6236. Send us an email at info@rentaltrax.com, or you can use the green support tab on the right side of your screen, or you can check out our website at www.rentaltrax.com.